Hey guys, hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to talk about something that I've been seeing a lot and it bothers me so much. It bothers me so much and I just have to talk about it. I was actually going to make my own video about it, but then I came across this lady's video about it and not not only does the topic bother me, but also the way she talked about it bothers me so much. Probably even more than the topic itself. So I actually decided to react to her video. Um, of course, this is all like fair use and everything. Like this is not against her per se. It's not an attack against her. It's just the way she was talking about it. I've had a lot of people talk about it that way, and it just doesn't sit right with me. And what I'm talking about today is overconsumption, debt, and girl math, right? Yeah, let's get started.
$45,000 of debt with nothing going in life at 22. What the are you even thinking?
I'm just a girl.
My favorite hobby is spending money. I love it. I am in credit card debt. I don't give a
The fact that women have been financially hampered for so long throughout history is the reason why they are the way they are with money in 2025.
I am in thousands of dollars of credit card debt and I want to spend money so bad.
I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl. Girl, you or I am just a girling yourself into debt.
Okay, let's get started. Like, matter of fact, I think I might even have to go back to the first video. The first video, she's like, it's so much debt. And then they're like, well, what the fuck? She's like, oh my God, I'm just a girl. What does you being a girl have to do with that? And this is something that continues with the rest of the video, right? The other lady's like, oh, I'm in credit card debt. I don't care. I just love to shop. I just love to shop. And then we have that man saying, oh, women are they're the way they are with money because they have been financially coddled for so long. Absolutely not. First of all, you being in debt has nothing to do with you being a girl. It has to do with the fact that in our current society, we are being encouraged to overconsume and to take on more and more debt and to buy, right? Like it literally falls into the video I made just last week, I believe, or something. My last video where I was talking about how if you talk about self-care, if you talk about wanting to achieve anything, the first thing people will tell you is, oh, buy this, buy that, right? You're talking about wanting to run. It's about, oh, buy these running shoes. When you look on TikTok about it girl or about leveling up, what is the first thing? Is, oh, buy the matching set, drink your matcha, go on hot girl walks with your Stanley. It's like, that's just consumerism. That has nothing to do with you being a girl, right? And in the video, instead of these women to just acknowledge, like, yeah, I'm a shopaholic. I love to shop. I be buying everything I see. If the TikTok girls recommend a new lip gloss, I'm buying it. A new blush, I'm buying it. Even though I already have 20 blushes. That's that's a result of our capitalistic and consumerist culture and has nothing to do with you being a woman, right? Even though, yes, these are women that we're seeing, and yes, these purchases are purchases that women would typically make, but that's because these fields are like dominated by women, right? Like most of the people that wear makeup are women. So of course, the people that are buying 20 blushes are going to be women, right? Like men are not wearing makeup nearly as much, right? Men are not being encouraged to go on hot girl walks. But saying that, oh, the behavior itself, right? Because it's not really about the things you're buying. Somebody can be a shopaholic or be addicted to buying shoes, just like somebody else can be addicted to buying books, just like somebody else can be addicted to buying cars, right? It's about the behavior, not necessarily about the thing you're buying. So, and that's what is bothering me about this whole video and this whole trend of acting like Because everybody's acting like, oh, it's just, oh, women are always buying these clothes, they're always buying shoes, blah blah blah. But they're only talking about things that relate to women, right? There have been multiple men that came out and said, yeah, I was buying these what are they called, these designer like shoes, with the Jordans. Why is it girl math? Why is it, oh, I'm just a girl because she's buying heels and blushes? But nobody is saying, oh, that's just some dude shit because they're buying like a dude will have like 20 pairs of not even 20 pairs, like 200 pairs of sneakers. Sir, you do not need that. That's the male equivalent of a girl buying a bunch of heels or a bunch of blushes or a bunch of purses, right? But because it's a woman doing it, they're like, oh, all these women, they're just irresponsible with money. Which brings me to that man saying, oh, it's because women have been cuddled with money. There's this saying, when it comes to relying on other people, especially like when it comes to living with your parents is where they usually say it. But if you take it back, I feel like this also applies to the man you married back in the day when women couldn't own property, couldn't work, didn't have their own money. This, I believe, also applied to women in relationships and like their husbands and stuff. And that is what you don't pay for financially, monetarily, you end up paying for in other ways, usually in more expensive ways, right? Like if you're already an adult and you still live with your parents, you know how emotionally and mentally stressful that could be. What you're not paying for with cash in rent, you're paying with your mental health, okay, your ability to say no, because they and the fact that they think because you're just in the house, you're available for any and everything. You're paying in a lot of other ways. And that's been the same thing with these women. Yes, they didn't have their own money, so they couldn't contribute financially to the bills. But these women were very much paying. They were paying in being seen as property. They were paying in not being able to have anything of their own, right? Like women didn't just fight for the right to have credit cards and have bank accounts and be able to work to make their own money because they were just tired of their husbands giving them so much money. I mean, what could they possibly do with all that money that their husbands are just giving them for free? Oh my gosh. That's dumb. That's dumb. Right? Like obviously that's not why these women felt the need to march, to protest. Like they did that for a reason. And it's because, everything that glitters is not gold. People want to go back to the golden era. Oh, I just want to go back to the times when men paid all the bills and women just stayed at home. Be so for real. If it was all that great and dandy, why did the women fight to get out of it? Let me tell you why. Because it came with a whole lot of things like being called dumb or being called coddled, being treated as if you don't have a mind of your own, you're a bad decision maker, you can't figure out how to do things. That's literally this trend in society is why we still have the insinuations that women are somehow less smart than men, right? And or like women are just worse at certain things when it comes to like mental things, right, than men, which is why a man will sit up here and say, oh, women are just bad with money because they've been coddled. Yo, the gaslighting is insane. The gaslighting is insane. It's like when it's like, let's say your parents, wait, it's like the thing where your parents never let you hang out with any friends and then now wonder why you're an introvert and never want to go out. Why do you think? Like, please, what you mean coddled? Women literally had to fight to be able to make money. And this man is saying that women were coddled, which is why they weren't making money. I'm sick. I keep using the word cuddled, but I'm not even sure that's exactly what he said. So I'm gonna go back to his part, okay? Because I want to use the exact word he said.
Reason why they are the way they are with money in 2025.
Hold
The
on.
fact that women have been financially hampered for so long throughout history.
Pampered. Pampered. Women were financially pampered. Women were financially pampered. You mean to tell me, like, okay, look, I'm a romance girly, right? So look at all the Jane Austen books. All these women, well, the ones I've read, these women were not in the best financial situations. Not of their own doing, but because the men they were attached to, usually their father, could not handle the finances. Look at Bridgerton. I think this was in, ooh, was this season one or season two? Either season one or season two of Bridgerton. Um, is it Featherington? Yes, the Featheringtons, right? What did that man do? That man squandered their wealth. That man squandered all their money. All the money she was supposed to, the girls were supposed to have as a dowry to get married. He gambled it away. But that's pampering. That's pampering. You not being able to get your inheritance from your father as the first child because you're a woman, that's pampering. People saying stuff like this about you, even though you are of equal mind, you're of equal greatness in mind, body, and spirit, but because you're a woman, suddenly you're just not as smart. Because you're a woman, oh, you just can't think right. You were pampered. Women were financially pampered. That's insane. I'm still stuck on that. So hold on. If being financially pampered was the reason women aren't good with money, you would first have to prove that women were financially pampered, which they were not, and also prove that women are not good with money, which is not true. Women as a group are not bad with money. That makes no sense. Right? It's just like saying men are bad with money. The only thing is when it comes to women, women tend to spend like little amounts and buy a bunch of stuff, right? So like women, like that's how you see women don't have the 50 heels. Like maybe each one was like 200, but then by the time you get 50, that's a lot of money. Or they'll buy like the 20 blushes. Each one might be like $30, but then like it adds up. Or you see women they'll have like a $10,000 debt with like TJ Maxx or like with Sephora. Like they buy a bunch of little purchases that add up. They add up. Meanwhile, with men is less often, but these are more expensive purchases, right? Like the men that obviously cannot afford it, but are buying trucks. And then why do they need these trucks? They don't. They could drive a regular sedan, a regular SUV, but he just want to feel like the man, because everybody else has the Denali, everybody else has the F-150. Matter of fact, the F-250, 350, 450. So they want it too. You know what I'm saying? Like they gotta have that one sports car because everybody else has it, right? Also with the, what's that? Oh, also with the boat. Do you know how expensive these hobbies are? These stereotypically male hobbies are. Like them running shoes ain't cheap. Running as a hobby is not very cheap, right? Like even stuff like the golf clubs, like they're going there to practice their swing, they're doing this, they're doing that. Them things are not cheap, but they do it to keep up with other men, right? They want the boats, the Ferraris, especially the boat. Do you think a boat is cheap? A boat is not cheap, and then they now need the truck in addition to the boat to tow the boat. Or how about you just don't get either? But would it make sense for me to sit here and say, these men love to buy trucks and boats? Oh, they're not good with money. People are acting as if both sides are not currently engaging in stupid consumerist behavior that is acquiring debt. Like it is done, but to be fair, our society does encourage it a lot. So I don't even want to sit here and make fun of people that are in debt. Even though, yes, they're making dumb decisions, these are dumb decisions that are being pushed onto us in America. So when this man is like, oh, women are financially immature because they have been pampered, men are financially immature too. But nobody says, oh, well, obviously, not all the men or all the women. But what I'm saying is people trying to ascribe financial immaturity as like a feminine trait, like that's dumb. I'm so sick of people trying to make it seem like, oh, yeah, women are just stupid. You might be, but I'm not. Don't put me in that. Maybe you're a dummy. Maybe. I'm not. I know a lot of women that aren't dumb. Please do not put us in that. Let's keep watching because I just went on a whole rant. Baby, we are not even 30 seconds into the video. My
Is
lord.
the reason why they are the way they are with money in 2025.
I am in thousands of dollars of credit card debt and I want to spend money so bad.
I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl. Girl, you or I am just a girling yourself into debt. Have you ever heard the saying?
Like, exactly. That woman that just said, oh, she's already thousands of dollars in debt, but she still wants to buy something so bad. It's so crazy that nobody sees that as an addiction. An addiction. It's just like when you eat, but you still want to eat something. People that have struggled with food addiction, like sugar addiction, eating addiction, like emotional they understand that you're not hungry. You don't need it, but you just want it so bad. Even though as soon as you eat that and you get the dopamine, you're gonna want it again because it's an addiction and has nothing to do with you being a woman, right? It's an addiction. Nobody says, oh, I know all that food addiction, just so feminine. All that drinking addiction, so feminine. Like we treat like alcoholic addiction, drug addictions, cigarette addictions. We treat these with a lot more care than we would like a shopping addiction. And that's because these shopping addictions are seen as feminine. Because who do they always put to associate with these dads, right? We always see the girl, like what's her name, Sharpay Evans, or maybe I don't know. I don't really remember back in the day, but I think it's the girl from is it High School Musical? Child, you know the girls that the stereotypical always spending. Oh, let's say Tony from Girlfriends, right? Always spending, always buying this, always buying that. It's usually women that you see on TV doing these things, but men are just as much there. Okay, because the things that men engage in, it tends to be more expensive. Yes, it might be one truck, but that one truck is like equal to like her entire closet of clothes. Does that make sense? So instead of saying, oh, this is a feminine trait, this is a masculine trait, let's deal with the real issue, which is the addiction behind it and the fact that we're constantly getting encouraged to spend all our money, to spend with the TikTok shop, with the buy now, pay later, to spend, to get into debt, to incur interest for these companies, right? That's why they continue encouraging the spending because you're going to get interest. And the crazy thing is, when you look at how much people owe and how much they've paid, you would think, oh, they've, eaten into a little bit of the debt. No, most of it is going to the interest. Okay, because that bank finna take their money first and then still keep charging you interest on what you owe. So they're just keeping your debt the same just so they can they can keep eating off that interest. And I feel like that's more so what we need to focus on rather than uh rather than just saying, oh, it's just a girl thing, just a girl thing. It's like, no, this is a serious addiction. A lot of people in society are getting pushed towards more and more consumerism, and we need to deal with that so we don't have a bunch of people that are in debt because these are troubling times. I don't know if you can tell, but a lot of people are losing their jobs. A lot of people are not able to afford meals anymore. Like Thanksgiving is coming up. People are like, I ain't got it. People are like, this Christmas season is just not gonna hit because they don't have the money, right? They don't have the money. So let me see. I feel like I already said everything. I feel like I already said everything I wanted to say, but let me just watch a little bit of the video to see if I still want to say some more. So let's see.
Freedom comes with a price. Well, back in the day for women, it did. And that price used to be obedience, permission, and dependence.
And period. Girl, you are not wrong about that. That's what I was saying. Like, let's not act like women were being pampered. Women were being treated as children. Women were being treated like less than. They were property. Women were property. Okay? You're talking about, oh, they're pampered. Babes, when you buy a new like bed sheet set or pillow set for your bed, are you like, oh my God, I'm just pampering my bed so much? No, because that was not for the bed. That was for you. It was for you to be able to come back. Oh my God, this is my silk, my silk pillowcase, my Egyptian cotton sheets. Oh my. That has nothing to do with the bed itself. Like, did you do that? Oh, I just feel so bad for this bed, just in these old ratty sheets. Let me just get it, Egyptian cotton so it can feel better. No, you don't think it has thoughts. You don't care if it feels better or not. What you care is how you feel. And that's how it used to be for women. These men weren't dressing those women up real nice because, they just wanted the women to feel so much better. No, no. It was so that they would look good beside them. And we still have that now with the trophy wife. Like, if you get on the internet, you will see a lot of men that don't care about their wives, don't know shit about their wives. But they always make sure that woman look nice. Why? So she can make them look good. Right? So let's not act like, oh, women were just being pampered. They were just being loved and cared for and coddled financially. If they were and everything was all great and dandy, they never would have left. They never would have left. Okay.
They couldn't open bank accounts, couldn't buy homes, couldn't take out loans without a man's permission. Now, fast forward to today.
Imagine how sickening. How sickening. You couldn't open a bank account. You couldn't buy land. You couldn't own nothing without a bank's and without a man's permission. And if you continue the video, which I'm gonna put the link in the comments because I don't think we're gonna go the whole video. Otherwise, we will be here all day. Okay, because we're not even a minute into the video yet. But even though these women would buy these things, it would still belong to the man. It would still go from man to man. Right? I just finished reading okay, not even it's the same thing in Persuasion, but also in Pride and Prejudice, right? What was the big issue? It was the fact that what's the name of that man? That man that was offering to buy Elizabeth to marry Elizabeth. Not I said buy Elizabeth. To marry not was it Elizabeth? Yeah, to marry Elizabeth. Oh, the clergy dude, the pastor that ended up marrying her friend. The whole thing is because the father doesn't have any sons, right? Which, let's be honest, he was very good natured about it because a lot of men back then, what you mean you didn't give me a son? They will treat you like trash. Sometimes they will even go have a son on the side. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like for somebody that didn't have a son back then, their father was actually pretty nice. You know what I'm saying? But the whole thing was okay. He didn't have a son, right? So the property was not gonna go to any of the daughters, which I think it was like 5 girls. Let's say, son Lizzie, Mary, the two ridiculous ones. Yeah, I think it was 5 girls, unless I'm missing somebody on the 6, but I think it was 5. Anyways, it was not gonna go to none of those 5 girls. It was gonna go to the cousin they did not know, had never met. So all those girls had to figure it out for themselves how they were gonna, how they were gonna make it once the father died. Which is what did that Elizabeth's friend says? I am 27-year-old. Let me pull it up. What Elizabeth's friend had told her when she was like, why would you marry that man? She said, yeah, I am 27 years old. I have no money and no prospects. I'm already a burden to my parents, and I am frightened. Does that sound like somebody that was being financially pampered to you? That's crazy work. That's crazy work, right? And then what did the beginning of the book say? It is a truth universally acknowledged that a young man in possession of a good fortune must be in one of a wife. Did they say a young woman in possession of a good fortune? No, because women didn't have fortunes. Because women didn't have fortunes. In persuasion, this man, I think this man is like 20, 27 or 28, something like that. Or maybe even more. I is Captain Wetherington in Persuasion. That's like the main male love interest. What did he say? He was like, "Oh, any woman from 15 to 30, I'm open. From 15 to 30." 15? This grown ass man, he was like, "Yeah, I'm open to a 15-year-old." And mind you, these are just the royal families in England. If we go to places where they didn't live like this, like, or let's say places where they, oh, let's just come back a little bit, like the poor people, right? They were working, you know, the chambermaids. That woman was working. She was making money. Hello. So after slavery, what was the job that almost all the black women had? Cleaning. They were cleaners, they were housekeepers. That was their job. They were working, they were making money. So to say, and then the gag is, this is a black man. So to say, oh, women have been financially, like, what fucking women are you talking about? I know you're not talking about black women. The same black women that were having to work, that transitioned from slavery, like we're talking about in America. I understand that it's different, like in Africa and in other places, but in America, are you talking about the black women that transitioned from slavery to working for pennies? You're saying those women have been pampered financially? What the fuck are you talking about? Right? I don't know why my eyes itchy. But yeah, no, let's not let's not get in the habit of insulting women or of making it seem like, oh, women are just so frivolous with money. Women are so frivolous. It's like when something is, oh my God, when something is mostly affecting women, people don't want to take it seriously. They feel like, oh, it's just women. Because it's women is not serious. But it's affecting men too. It's affecting men too. A lot of couples or couplings are in debt. And it's not only the woman that's spending. It's not. It's not only the woman that's spending. So
We have control.
But somehow it feels like we've traded one type of control for another. From girls romanticizing being in debt, spending their last on iced coffee, and treating Afterpay like a loophole. Somehow financial freedom is slowly turning into financial regression. But this time, it's not men keeping us broke. We picked up right where they left off. Welcome to the Girl.
the whole thing of, oh my God, I'm just a girl debt, that part is dumb to me. Like I said, it makes no sense to look at it as, oh, I'm just a girl, and makes more sense to look at it as, I'm paying for stuff I don't need. I'm being sold a lifestyle that's never gonna be real. Right? I'm being sold an aesthetic. You can literally never, you can't win. There's too many people. This cycle is constantly changing. You cannot stay on top of it. First of all, you're not rich enough, babes. You're not. You are not rich enough. If you have to go into your credit card, you are not rich enough.
There was a time when freedom for women meant being able to just touch money. And honestly, when you think about it, it's not that much different from today. The only difference is, back then, women didn't just get the short end of a stick. They got no stick at all.
Did you hear that? Women got no stick. Like we had nothing. We had no money. So to say we were being financially pampered, people are acting like men were just, oh my God, you're a woman. Here you go, $10,000. Just for you, just cause you're a woman. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. Okay. And you know what? This let me go ahead and say and talk about this stay at home thing. It's such a propaganda because I feel like you should go and watch this video. In this video, she touches on the fact that in the 40s, when they had the world war, right? They encouraged women to get into the factories, to put their hair up, to work. But soon as those men came back in the 50s, they started encouraging women to go back into the house and, forget about making money. I know you were making money, you were independent for the first time in your life. Girl, forget all that. Just don't you just love to make bread and let that man tell you what to do? You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure there were multiple women during that time that were like, yeah, I hope he don't come back. I know it's look, don't be like, oh my God, why would you say that? Let's be for real. Let's be for real. And what do we see now? People like, after we had the girl boss, we have women making money and all this stuff, right? Women are higher rates in literacy, in education, everything. And then what you have? A bunch of people saying, oh girl, give that up. Don't become a doctor. Go be a housewife, stay with the kids. Now, these people that are saying that, are they at home staying with the kids? No. Because they're not fucking stupid. But they think you're stupid. They feel like you should abandon your money making and go be a baby maker. But they will not abandon their money making to go be a baby maker. Right? When people are telling you that, when people are telling you pushing you away from financial freedom, you need to be suspicious. You need to be suspicious of people pulling you away from financial freedom. This is not the time to be spending crazy. I don't know why people are still doing it. This is not the time. As you can see, our economy, our government is very unstable. You need to be saving as much as you can so that in the future, you can make moves, because that's the thing about financial freedom. Financial freedom gives you the ability to maneuver the world on your own terms. Financial freedom means you can make decisions. You can choose. Financial freedom means you can choose. So when people are encouraging you down paths that do not encourage financial freedom, you need to question why. Let me tell you the reason. Because they don't want you to be able to make your own decisions. It's because they don't want you to be able to decide to go down a different path. Why do you think in the 50s they were encouraging those women to go back in the house? Because they didn't want a bunch of women in their houses, right? Now telling that man, hell no, I ain't doing that. I went to work too. I'm tired too. That's the real reason. It's because they want you to submit. Okay? Look, imagine if that lady what's her name? Oh my gosh, I don't remember her name. The 27-year-old lady, right? Charlotte. Imagine if Charlotte had money. Do you think she would have married that man? Hell no. That man was terrible. He just had no social, sir, fuck off. Just sit down. Right? That's not, Mr. Collins just wasn't the kind of person people were like, oh my God, I just have to have him. You know what I'm saying? Please, he's no Mr. Darcy. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Darcy wasn't even all that charming. It's not Bennett, Mr. Darcy's friend, the one that married Lizzie's sister. He was charming, right? Mr. Darcy was just rich and fine. But Mr. Collins was nothing. And even though even though he was gonna inherit the property, Lizzie was still like, fuck no, fuck no. You see what I mean? Like, if Charlotte had her own money, she would not have gone to Mr. Collins. Matter of fact, she would have been like, okay, I'm single. What about it? I'm gonna buy me a nice house. Imagine if she had Mr. Darcy's money. Okay, she would just stay in that mansion and say, fuck all that, fuck all these men. Which is what a lot of women now can afford to do. Which is why do you think people always want to talk shit about Oprah, like her relationship or status or whatever? And why do you think they be talking about, oh, Oprah and Gail, they must be lesbians? It's because she got money and she doesn't have to rely on men for money, and she can do whatever she wants. That's why. That's why. That's why. You always have to be suspicious of people that are trying to take you away from financial freedom. It's a scam. Financial freedom gives you the ability to say no when you mean to say no. It's just like you can quit that job if you don't want that job or if you don't like it. You can change your major, you know. You can take a year off from school to travel, stuff like that. How are you going to do that if you have no money? And if you're in thousands of debt, right? Why do you think about it? Even all types of debt. I'm talking about even a car note, right? People, they have to keep going to work. Why? They have a car note. They have a car note, okay? They got to pay this mortgage. So they got to keep working and grinding. They can't take the month off. Hell no. Because then they're going to fall behind on the mortgage, the Klarna and afterpay payments, the everything they have to do, they're going to fall behind. So they can't afford to take that time off. Instead, what do? They're working, they're working, they're working. What does that remind you of? When you're trapped and you can't get out, it's almost like, oh, slavery? Almost like you're in jail. Which, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but for a while now, I forget what state it was. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere in the deep south. I feel like maybe Alabama or Georgia. They've been one of the reasons they love to put people in jail is so that they can make them basically modern day slaves. Like they pay them little to nothing to work the fields, which they're now saying that that's what they want to do to like all these people that they're arresting for illegal immigration. So, yeah, do with that information what you will, right? Because the truth is, it's really easy to make someone into a criminal. And now they're starting to turn the criminals into modern day slaves, right? The criminals into modern day slaves. So, yeah, you being in all that debt, you just buying, whether you're a woman or you're a man, talking about, oh, I'm just a girl. Bitch, you're just a slave. You're just a slave. So, do you. If you like, don't say, like maybe you want to be a slave. Hell. If you like, don't say. And then, oh, not even that. Do you know that an addiction is basically slavery to whatever you're addicted to? Like, you have no, you don't have freedom against that. So you're a slave now to your addictions. You're a slave to buying shit that you cannot afford. And then you'll be an even bigger slave to that interest because you can't pay it off. So now you're a slave to fucking JP Morgan and Chase. You're a slave to Bank of America. You're a slave to Klarna. You're a slave to fucking Apple. And then imagine a time where they're like, you know what, people that can't afford to pay, we're going to give you a chance to work it off. What does that sound like? Indentured servitude? Yeah. Yup. That's indentured servitude, y'all. And why doesn't that bring into question the whole company towns? Because do you think they're going to be paying you enough for you to, pay off all your debt quickly and then be rich? Girl, hell no. They want you to stay in debt. And then now that you're working to give them back money, they're never going to let you pay off that debt. You are never going to pay off that debt, okay? Look, a while ago, They were talking about a Tesla like company town. I'm pretty sure it was Tesla. Was it? Right. And of course, in that in a company town, what it is they own the housing, they own the water, they own everything. You'll be paying them all the bills. They own the stores, they own everything. You work there, they pay you, and then everything you want to buy, all that, you buy it from the company. Imagine if one person owned the Walmart, the gas stations, the iPhone store, the mall. Imagine if everything you wanted to buy, you bought from one person who was your employer, and you rented from that person, and they control your light bill. Imagine if you then piss your boss off at work, and then suddenly your internet bill is going up. Please. That's let's not even let's not even go there. But all I'm gonna say is, as much as possible, try to avoid that, because it's just a slippery slope. All this, oh, I'm just a girl. Fuck off. Like I said, if you're a dummy, it's not because you're a woman. Please do not put that on the rest of us. If you're a dummy, be a dummy in peace. You get what I'm saying? If you want to be slow and stupid, do that by yourself. Do not put the rest of us women into it. Okay, women as a whole are not stupid or slow or incapable of managing money. These are literally misogynistic talking points. My God. This is what women were fighting against. You think women were fighting against having a bunch of money that men gave them? Are you dumb? Oh my God, I don't want to think for myself. Yeah, I can see why. I can see. Because clearly you don't think at all. But I just want to know, to the girls that say they don't want to think, oh my God, I've been ranting for almost an hour. Y'all, I got to let you go. But I just want to know, to the girls that say, oh, they don't want to think for themselves, who's going to think for you? I hope you know it's not your man. Your man can barely think for himself. Your man can barely think for himself. Do you know who's going to be thinking for both of y'all? These companies that want to manipulate you and make money off of you. That's who's going to be thinking for the both of y'all. You think that man is going to think for you? No. No. I'm sorry. Like, you need to come to the realization that men are not better decision makers than you are. Especially when it comes to your own life. That's insane. Anyway, like, we got to wrap it up for today. It's already 45 minutes almost. My God. I just have to let it go. Anyways, go ahead and watch the rest of her video. I feel like I already said everything that I'm going to continue saying. And if I keep watching the video, it's just going to get even longer. So that is it for today. Bye. Don't forget to like the video, follow and subscribe. You know, I'm trying to build up my follow account, I'm trying to build it up. And I can't wait to see you next time. As you can tell, I dearly love to yap. Okay, that's all for today. Bye. Oh, also, let me know if you have any topics that you want me to touch on. Because as you can see, I think of these things quite often, and I be connecting it and I be jumping around. But if you want me to touch on something specific, please let me know in the comments. And also let me know what you think about all this. About the consumerism, the debt, the I'm just a girl of it all, the oh, women were just so pampered of it all, the what else? Oh, the that being a type of slavery, the descent into like potential company towns. Because let me tell you, these companies are coming for your life. I don't think y'all understand. They're coming for your life. Like, if y'all knew how deep this went, please, you would not be playing like that. These companies are coming for your neck. They're coming for your freedom, your thoughts. They're coming. Oh my God, please. Anyways, let me just go, because they are coming for you. They are on your ass. They are on your ass. Okay. Maybe in another video I'll go into like all the ways it could possibly go. I mean, just watch Black Mirror. Like, please, please think for yourself. Use the dumb things. Please, because you have to think. You have to. You have to. You have to think for yourself. You have to think for yourself. If you're going to have any type of happiness in this life, you absolutely have to think for yourself. But then again, they do say ignorance is bliss. So maybe you can just go with the flow and let these companies think for you, to each their own. That's all I have to say today. Bye. Mwah.